Silent Trigger in Another World. Chapter 6. Through the Veil. The city of Veldor slept beneath a sky woven with stars. From the roof of a stone manor near the Mage King's palace, Aiden stared through his scope at the shimmering dome of arcane wards that blanketed the spire. Each glyph in the barrier danced like a living rune, shifting, adapting, repelling even the gaze of unwelcome magic. Good thing he didn't use magic. He exhaled slowly and logged his observations into a pocket notepad. Angles, glyph patterns, rotating intervals. In his own world, this would have been just another recon op before a precision strike. But here things were more complicated. The target wasn't just human. It was magical and divine all at once. Lyra's voice buzzed faintly in his ear crystal. "You're not going to like this." "What?" "We caught a spy in the safe house, sent by Vaylor's Enchanter Corps. I think he was scry linked to the Mage King himself." Aiden didn't curse. He'd been expecting something like this. "Kill the link. Burn any trace. Already done. Irina's purging the safe house with nullfire, but we'll have to relocate in 6 hours. They know we're here." "Understood," moving to fallback position. He packed his rifle and vanished into the shadows of the city. 4 hours later, beneath a ruined bathhouse deep in the catacomb district, Aiden sat with Irina, Lyra, and a new face. A slender, dark-skinned man in a flowing crimson robe and a sash marked with the crest of the Eastern Enclave. His name was Joran, and he had once served in the Mage King's elite guard. "I walked away from Vaylor 5 years ago," Joran said, his voice low, "when I saw what he did to the last Veilwalker." "You were there?" Aiden asked. Joran nodded grimly. "They dissected the man alive, extracted soul fragments with echo magic, then fed them to the Lake-Cradle engine." Lyra looked sick. Irina folded her arms tightly. "And now," Joran added, "he's built the Veil Key, a control nexus for Rift energy. He plans to open a permanent gate on the day of the eclipse. That gate will not just lead to your world." Aiden stared at him. "Where else?" Joran hesitated. "Everywhere. Every possible world layered in the veil." That hit Aiden like a punch to the gut. Not just Earth, not just this realm. All of them. Multiversal collapse. "That key has to be destroyed," Aiden said. "Where is it?" Joran unrolled a fresh map. "It's held in the Heart Vault, beneath the palace, surrounded by 7 soul wards, 3 golem sentries, and a high priest of the Black Spiral cult." "I've dealt with worse," Aiden said. But just as he spoke, something went wrong. A sound like thunder with no echo filled the chamber. Aiden's vision blurred. A scream not of this world tore through his mind. Time fractured. And then, darkness. When he opened his eyes, he was no longer in the catacombs. He was standing in a glass desert beneath a sky that shifted between stars and void. Broken structures hung in the air like frozen dreams. The air smelled like static and blood. He turned and saw himself. No armor, no rifle. Just a mirror version in rags, holding a broken scope. The doppelganger spoke. "You are the fault line," it said. "The trigger and the blade. The one who tears the thread." Aiden raised his Glock. "Who are you?" "I am what remains," it said. "I am what you become if the key turns, if the veil fails." Then the world cracked, and Aiden was falling. He woke gasping back in the catacomb, sweat freezing on his skin. Lyra knelt beside him, hand on his shoulder. "You were out for 2 minutes. You started convulsing. What happened?" I saw through the veil." Joran paled. "That should not be possible." "It is. And if I'm seeing it now, the key is active. The gate is already opening." Irina stood. "Then we move now. No waiting for the eclipse." Aiden rose, steadied himself, and chambered a fresh round. "Number we strike during the eclipse," he said. "But it's the only time when the palace's outer wards drop. Every 50 years, the ley line shifts momentarily. That's when I'll have a clean shot." Joran blinked. "You knew this?" "I read it in the alignment charts Lyra stole." Lyra stared. "You memorized them?" He didn't reply. They were already making plans. That night, as the moon waned toward its final dark phase, Aiden climbed the bell tower of the Temple of Forgotten Flame, a site overlooked by Vaylor's patrols, and positioned directly above a ley line breach that would collapse the outer shield during the eclipse. He set up his rifle, cleaned the barrel, adjusted the scope, tuned the focus to account for mana diffraction. Through the scope, he saw the heart vault. He could see the key glowing. 2 days. That's all he had. Then the shot would come, and with it, the fate of worlds. Chapter 7. One shot, one world. The eclipse began at noon. Above the Mage King's palace, the sun and moon danced in perfect alignment, casting the world into a surreal twilight. Shadows stretched long and thin across the streets of Veldor. Magic shimmered in the air like heat waves. Every spellcaster in the city felt the moment, the weakening of the ley field that protected the heart vault. Aiden was already in position. He lay prone atop the highest spire of the Temple of Forgotten Flame, his rifle perfectly stabilized between 2 stone gargoyles. He'd spent the last 40 hours watching, waiting, calculating. The palace's defenses were thinning exactly as Lyra's stolen charts had predicted. Through his scope, he could see the central tower, its crystalline walls fading as the anti-scrying wards flickered. For the first time in decades, the heart vault was vulnerable. He zoomed in. Inside the chamber, on a pedestal of black steel and dragonbone, pulsed the Veil Key, a crystalline core swirling with spectral energy. It radiated pure Veil force, the magic between worlds. To Aiden's right, a data slate rested beside him, showing the exact ley line surge patterns. The strongest fluctuation would occur in precisely 87 seconds. The window would be narrow, 8 seconds max. One shot, one chance. Lyra, status, he whispered into his crystal. Distraction team is in position, her voice crackled softly. Jorn is prepping a void pulse to overload the west gate. The moment it detonates, palace security will converge. That's your opening. Aiden adjusted his aim. Understood. Good luck, Aiden. I make my own luck. He held his breath. Then, boom! A violet flare lit the city from the west, followed by spiraling chaos. Alarm bells rang. Sentinel constructs burst from their towers, and mages scrambled toward the explosion. Just as planned. The heart vault's protective field wavered. Through the scope, the key shimmered into perfect focus. Aiden's finger touched the trigger, but just before he fired, a blur of motion. A figure stepped into the vault, draped in robes of living shadow, his face hidden beneath a mask of interwoven bone and silver. The Mage King, Arizan Valor. He moved fast, faster than any human had a right to. He raised a hand, and with a flick of his fingers began the activation ritual. The pedestal rose, and the key ascended into a halo of ley fire. Aiden's heart pounded. He recalibrated for movement. 4 seconds. The key rotated slowly, aligning with 6 runes on the vault ceiling. 3 seconds. Aiden adjusted for angle, distance, and arcane interference. 2 seconds. The Mage King looked up. Somehow, he stared straight through the scope. Straight at Aiden. 1 second. Aiden fired. Crack. The round split the air like a thunderclap. It pierced the glass barrier, ignited the ley fire in a burst of blue, and struck the Veil Key dead center. For half a heartbeat, time stopped. Then all hell broke loose. The key exploded, not outward, but inward, collapsing into itself in a swirl of gravitational magic. The pedestal cracked. The vault imploded. Ley lines across the city pulsed wildly, shorting out wards and towers. The Mage King screamed, not in pain, but in rage. Aiden rolled off the spire just as a lightning bolt of raw veil energy struck the gargoyle where he'd been perched. He activated his rappel line and dropped into the temple's bell chamber. The rope burned against his gloves, but he hit the stone running. Down narrow stairs, through secret halls, toward the catacomb district. Chaos erupted in the city above. Explosions, screams, sirens. The sky turned violet as mana storms sparked across the skyline. Lyra met him at the rendezvous point, breathless, dust clinging to her robes. You did it? I hit the key. Vault's gone, but Valor's still alive. Her eyes widened. Then he'll come after you. I hope he does, Aiden said grimly, because next time I'm not aiming at the key. Irina joined them moments later with Jorn, both wounded but standing. The pulse took out 3 districts, she said. We need to get underground. The Mage Kings unleashed his death hounds. I don't care about dogs, Aiden replied, loading a fresh magazine. I'm going back. He won't stop until he's dead. Aiden, Lyra said gently, we may have stopped the key, but the veil's already been weakened. You felt it, didn't you? He paused. Yes. And you saw something, didn't you? Through the veil. He nodded. Jorn whispered, what did you see? Aiden met their eyes. Earth, but wrong. Twisted. A version where the gate opened and my world burned. Lyra paled. So we stop him, Aiden said. For good. Before he finds another key. Before he tries again. He looked east, toward the palace's smoking remains. This isn't over. Not by a long shot. He sat up slowly. For now. Jorn stood nearby, gazing into the abyss. The court is collapsing. We need to leave. Aiden nodded. Let's go home. Chapter 8. The Ashen Court. The wind howled across the scarred remains of Veldor. Where once stood the majestic palace of the Mage King, only fractured spires and burned-out crystal husks remained. The veil flare Aiden triggered had torn a hole in the city's lagrid. Mana storms still flickered in the upper atmosphere, distorting light and summoning illusions where none should be. The city's people spoke of it as the Sundering, but for Aiden it was just the beginning. We've traced Vaylor's essence, Irina said, her voice tight with urgency. He fled through a breach in the deep veil, a rift corridor, old, unstable. And it leads to the Ashen Court, Lyra added. Aiden looked between them. What is it? The last remnants of the Empire of Bone, Irina said. A dead realm built beneath the crust of this world, abandoned for centuries. The laws of reality there are fluid. Death doesn't always stay dead. Time sometimes loops. And the last god mages of the old world bound their memories into stone obelisks? Sounds like my kind of place, Aiden muttered, slinging his rifle over his shoulder. How do we get in? There's a tunnel beneath the sunken library, Jorn answered. Heavily warded. We'll have to go through the remnant gate. And once we're inside, Aiden asked. Pray, Lyra said. 3 days later, under the broken stars of a cursed sky, they descended. The remnant gate was built of obsidian and bone glass, its frame inscribed with runes that predated written language. Aiden watched as Lyra performed the unsealing ritual, her hands trembling slightly as she channeled mana into the anchor stones. The gate opened with a sound like a dying scream. Beyond it, the Ashen Court, a black city suspended upside down in a yawning abyss. Structures hung from the cavern ceiling like teeth. Pale fire lit the walkways. Rivers of white ash flowed in the air like water. And high above it all, atop the inverted palace of dust and silence, a new beacon pulsed with veil energy. The key, Aiden whispered. Or a new version of it, Irina said. He's rebuilding it. I can feel it, drawing on the memories of the god mages. Then we take it before it stabilizes. They advanced in silence. As they crossed the bone bridges of the lower court, twisted spirits began to stir. Ancient sentries bound in cracked armor, their eyes burning with spectral hate. Aiden raised his rifle and took the first one down with a clean shot through the skull. The echo woke the dead. Dozens of ash wraiths poured from the hollow doorways, silent, fast, deadly. Jorn ignited his flame spear. Hold the line! Aiden dropped to one knee, controlled breathing, adjusting for the lower gravity. Each shot was a perfect kill. The rifle barked like a god of death, and ghosts fell in swirls of ash. Lyra conjured walls of wardlight to block their flanks. Irina hurled bolts of unraveling magic that shattered the wraith's cohesion, and still they came. Aiden reloaded. Keep moving. Don't let them surround us. They fought their way up the path of remembrance, a spiraling walkway that defied geometry. Time bent here. One moment it was day, the next the stars bled. At one point, Aiden saw a younger version of himself stalking ahead, only for the vision to fade into smoke. He's using temporal echoes to confuse us, Lyra gasped. Ignore them. Keep focused. Aiden didn't respond. His mind was iron, his purpose steel. They reached the spire of stillness. At its summit stood Vaylor, robes torn, eyes blazing, arms stretched wide. The new key floated behind him, larger than before, pulsing with stolen memories and veil force. You came, the Mage King said, his voice layered with 1,000 echoes. Even after all you saw in the fracture. I came to finish it, Aiden said. Valor lifted his hand. You cannot stop this. The key is no longer mine. It is the will of the Veil. It has chosen to open. Then I'll break the will of the Veil, Aiden fired. But the shot stopped mid-air, frozen in a time rift. Valor laughed. You think bullets can stop what's already happened? Then Lyra stepped forward. Number. But maybe memory can. She hurled a soul stone toward the key, a shard of her father's essence, bonded with ancient truth. The key recoiled. Valor screamed as the soul stone's light fractured the veilstorm around him. Aiden dove forward. In that split second, he saw everything. All worlds, all versions of himself. Soldiers, farmers, tyrants, heroes. One reality where he had become a king, another where he died in the first hour. He chose. He raised the pistol, fired into the heart of the key. The explosion was silent. A white flash consumed the world. Aiden awoke lying on cold stone. The spire was gone. Valor's body lay crumpled at the edge of a broken dais. The key shattered into ash. The echoes were gone. The veil, silent. Lyra knelt beside him, smiling through tears. You did it. It's over. Chapter 9. Kingdoms in the Wake. The world after the veil's silence felt hollow and new, like a wound healing, but still tender to the touch. Veldor lay in ruins, its people scattered and weary. The Mage King's reign had ended, but so had the fragile order that held the fractured realms together. Power vacuums yawned wide, and every faction, from petty warlords to secretive mage conclaves, jockeyed for dominance. Aiden stood on the balcony of the rebuilt Temple of Forgotten Flame, looking out over a city rising from ash. The once proud stone towers now bore fresh scars of battle, and the marketplaces buzzed with uneasy chatter. Around him, his small but loyal band of friends gathered, Lyra with her steady gaze, Irina ever vigilant, Joran stoic as ever. Kingdoms will rise and fall, Joran said, breaking the silence, and they will want you at their side. Aiden's eyes narrowed. I'm no king. Yet, Lyra added softly. He smirked. I'm a soldier, a sniper. I work best in the shadows, not on thrones. But they'll come for you, Irina said, voice low. Noble houses, guild masters, even the surviving cultists, they all want the man who shattered the veil. Aiden looked down at his hands, still rough and calloused from his rifle's grip. They don't know me. Maybe not, Lyra said, stepping closer, but they know what you did. The weight of his choices pressed on him. He'd saved worlds from collapse, but at great cost. Old alliances lay broken. New threats stirred beyond the horizon. Then we build, Aiden said, voice steady. Not for power, not for glory, for peace. He turned toward the city square where a crowd gathered. Common folk, soldiers, mages, and survivors. Their faces held hope mixed with fear. From the crowd, a young boy called out, Are you really the sniper who stopped the Mage King? Aiden smiled faintly. I'm just a man trying to do what's right. The boy beamed. Then you're a hero. Aiden's heart clenched. Maybe, he thought, being a hero wasn't about titles or crowns. Maybe it was about standing up when it mattered most. The wind carried the first notes of a new dawn. Chapter 10. Echoes of the Past. The first light of dawn slipped through the cracked windows of the temple's war room, painting dust motes in gold. Aiden sat hunched over an ancient map, tracing routes and marking unsettled territories. The city was rebuilding, but unrest simmered beneath the surface. Rumors of rogue cults, mercenary bands, and shadowy factions haunted every conversation. Then came the summons, a message delivered by a cloaked courier from a distant enclave, bearing a seal unfamiliar to any in Aiden's circle. It was a summons from the Order of the Obsidian Eye, a secretive sect rumored to be entwined with the very fabric of the veil. Lyra broke the seal, unfolding the parchment with care. The past you carry is not your own. The path that led you here was chosen long before you fired your first shot. Come to the hollow sanctum. There, the truth awaits. Aiden's jaw clenched. What is this? He asked. Joran's eyes narrowed. The Order has been watching the Veil and its failures. They say your arrival was no accident. No accident, Aiden echoed. You mean I was brought here? Maybe, Irina said. Some believe the Veil calls certain souls, pulls them through. Others say there's design behind the chaos. Aiden rose, tension coiling in his muscles. Then it's time I found out. The hollow sanctum was carved into the roots of the world, an ancient temple lost beneath the forest of whispers. Its walls whispered secrets in forgotten tongues. Inside, a figure cloaked in shifting shadows awaited. Welcome, Aiden, the figure said, voice both distant and immediate. You stand at a crossroads. Your life here, your skills, your memories, all pieces of a larger design. Who are you? Aiden demanded. I am the keeper of threads, the figure replied. I guard the strands that bind worlds, and those who walk between them. Aiden's heart thundered. Why me? Because your past is intertwined with this world's fate. You are a trigger, a soul whose choices ripple through the veil. But your memories are fractured. The soldier you were, and the man you must become. Images flooded Aiden's mind. Snippets of training, battles, faces he recognized but couldn't place, and shadows creeping behind his thoughts. Why did I lose those memories? To protect you, the keeper said, and because some truths are too dangerous to hold until the moment is right. Aiden's hand brushed the pistol at his side. I want those truths. The keeper nodded. Then prepare yourself. The veil is not done with you yet, and the echoes of your past will shape the battles to come. Outside, the wind stirred the ancient trees as the world held its breath. Next, Chapter 11. Threads of Fate. Aiden delves deeper into his past and uncovers a conspiracy that spans worlds. Allies may be enemies, and trust becomes a rare commodity.